there was a glitch in the code that made it possible to beat it, but only if you're really, really good.
This review is brought to you by Netflix. Alright everyone, my first review for the Xbox One. It's their seminal racing franchise Forza Motorsport 5. Now I have a confession. This is the first racing game that I've reviewed. The genre was always a tough one for me to develop a deep affinity for because they are games based on long relationships, slowly improving your performance and experimenting with different cars. By virtue of what I do for a living, it's hard to play one game for too long. Eventually, you have to shift your attention to the next release. Also, I didn't get my driver's license until 2004, the day I moved to Los Angeles, so that may have been a factor. Anyway, I am not approaching this review as an expert in the racing sim. I will not use words like torque and chassis. I am looking at it as a game that has always held out an allure, but I couldn't tell if I was deserving or if it could hold my interest for the tens of hours I needed to play. Well, I love this game. For something lacking in dragons, space marines, and the fate of the world in my hands, Forza 5 proved to be one of the most obsessive, compulsive, and indulgent game experiences I have played in a long time. A mixture of elegant game design and astonishing control, the game creates a vortex of reward and player motivation and instruction that is insidiously constructed to keep the player in the game's thrall, as I neglected hydration and nourishment frequently to get in a few more races before attending to real life. For many players, one of the core appeals of Forza has been its accessibility despite being a simulation. This broad range of assists not only lowers the threshold for entry, but cleverly attunes the player to the facets of racing to take into consideration. As I started to take the training wheels off, I paid attention to my issues with braking, or perhaps stability or steering, and made that a focus of attention in the success of races. And with every new car, reevaluated the unique quirks to how they controlled. The true incentive to engage more deeply with the simulation of Forza 5 is that for every assist you toggle off, you earn more money in a race. More money means more cars, and more expensive ones more frequently. In fact, it's this perfectly constructed loop of engagement and reward that is so ingenious and seductive about Forza 5. Not only do you benefit from giving yourself more challenge, the game is constantly holding out opportunities.
This is your 2012 Jaguar XKR S.
Experience derived from degrees of success releases significant cash every time you level up. Affinity levels encourage you to drive with the car you already own, paying out higher percentages of the purse every time you level up. Each lap of a race judges you against a rival who is ranked just above you on the leaderboards. There is rarely a moment in the game where there isn't a reasonable objective to accomplish. It's a dopamine fiesta. What's so interesting about Forza 5 is that because it's absent of any narrative trappings that aren't in your own head, it perfectly delineates the sociology and psychology in contemporary game design. I finish a race and I have money. I could get a new car and try it out, or I could do one more race and level up and get more cash to get an even better car. After that race, I'm about to increase my affinity level, so I race again. Now that I've leveled up, I want to race more with this car to see the benefits of a higher payout. Now I'm moving up the leaderboard, so I want to race more to increase my standing. This is escapism at its purest. I'm doing something right and it's being recognized, which we all know can be much harder to accomplish in real life.
As we continue, you will traverse an epic automotive world.
But none of this would work well without the core of the game, the cars and their handling working well. In this, Forza 5 is profoundly effective. It's been too long since putting my hands on Forza 4 to offer comparison, but this game feels real good. The sense of speed and acceleration is a rush. Taking a corner correctly drips with tension and explodes with a sense of strategic advantage. The rumble and haptic feedback not only inform the player of losing tire traction, but adds a nerve-wracking tension in moments when the slightest of change to steering or braking can make or break the experience. I never expected to say this, but Forza 5 is one of the most harrowing games I've ever played. The dangerous simulation of speed, the absolute need for heightened awareness and attention, knowing that as good as things are in the moment, everything can change, and that combines to create a strange head-clearing zen state of automotive exactitude. What helps facilitate this experience are the unfortunately named drivatars. A curious combination of actual player behavior with artificial intelligence, the cars you compete against are remarkable facsimiles of player behavior that appear to be making strategic decisions in the moment. The effect on the game cannot be understated. The level of canny is astonishing, and the drama it adds to the races is significant. The best way to describe the experience is that it's not all about you. You see the AI compete against each other until you become relevant, and then cars attempt to block, take advantage of your lapses, and generally drive with desire. On the flip side, they succumb to acts of, well, human error, like I've never seen before, spinning out, cutting corners, and crashing into each other as well as you. The foibles of the drivatars had a funny effect on me. I felt better about myself. So often, the soulless perfection of the computer AI is so disheartening as it extends an idealization of how to play the game. Here, I found myself comfortable with my shortcomings, my bad turns, and brain farts. I realized soon into the game that I wasn't subjected to judgment on my skills versus reality, but instead, I was having fun. In fact, I found myself learning from the AI and attempted to copy some of the maneuvers I witnessed on particular courses. The drivatar difficulty is adjustable, and for me, 10% over average offered a clear challenge that wasn't insurmountable. I did attempt to put on all the assists and try it on the top 2 drivatar settings, and well, that ain't gonna happen anytime soon. One other addition to Forza 5 that may be as significant as the drivatars to its sense of fun is the alteration to scoring in a race. Instead of trying to come in the top 3 places or just first place, Forza 5 has 3 categories. Gold is places 1 through 3. Silver is typically 4 through 6, and bronze is 7 through 9. The money you earn is predicated on which trophy group you fall into. This results in races that feel vital no matter where you are in the pack. If getting gold is out of reach, you can fight for 6th place and come home with some nice bounty. This innovation dispenses with that burdening sense of inevitable failure once you fall too far back, and allows the game to put forward a more significant challenge, to say nothing of giving the player a wider berth to challenge themselves by removing assists. In this, Forza 5 really accomplishes its goals to be an accessible sim that doesn't alienate the hardcore and underscores its brilliant means to get the player in and hold on to them until exhaustion or the bathroom win out. Except for load times. They are long, and it's unfortunate given that the conclusion of each race begets the desire to jump back in and do it again. Forza 5 also comes with multiplayer, where you have the opportunity to compare the computer AI to friends and colleagues. I found that as aggressive as the avatars were, it was nothing compared to the ferocity of my compatriots. Also, I kinda suck in multiplayer, so there's that. What is clear is that the interface for finding races and choosing your car is elegant and simple and not an imposition. Additionally, there is Rivals, an asynchronous multiplayer where you race against other times on the leaderboard. Forza 5 is an astonishing game, from its looks to its design to the care it takes to include all types of players and play styles. Racing may sound niche, but this game shows it to be thrilling, engrossing, and welcoming. I have played it for countless hours, and I plan to go back right after finishing this review, like right now. A 5 out of 5. There you go. This is not the only Xbox One content that you can find here. We have a video talking about our impressions of the system itself. We also have a review of Dead Rising 3. And tomorrow, assuming you're watching this today, we're going to have a review of Rise. Also, we're doing a 3-hour live stream as we talk about the games, the device, and many other things. It'll be myself, it'll be Tara, it'll be Scott Bromley, it'll be a lot of surprise guests. Please join us. It'll be on YouTube and Twitch. That'll start at 9 p.m. Pacific on the 21st of November. Come by, give us some questions. It was a lot of fun when we did it for the PS4. We're going to do it again. And with that, let's take a moment to thank our sponsor, Netflix. Netflix lets you stream movies and TV shows to any Netflix-enabled device, like your laptop, phone, or hey, maybe that new Xbox One. There's a ton of great titles available on there, and you can get a free trial membership and support Rev3 Games by signing up at netflix.com/Rev3Games.